Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
I already sold.
Okay, first item on the agenda is appointments. Chief Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So tonight I have two appointments coming before you. The first one is to fill the vacancy in the recovery coach role in the Burlington Police Department, which has been vacant since the resignation of Hannah Haslett when she passed the Massachusetts Bar and went over to the Essex County District Attorney's Office. Since that time, which is about a year and a half, we've had Karen DiRienzo filling both roles, and as you can imagine, that's become quite a challenge for her with the dual roles, and we were finally able to work through the posting and get the job interviews conducted, and the name we're bringing before for the town administrator appointment tonight is Julie Hartling. Julie Hartling is a lifelong Burlington resident. She has very relevant experience in the field, which came through very clearly during the interview process. Since 1998, she has worked with the Essex County Sheriff's Department. From 1998 through 2004, she was a reintegration coordinator, and here she is. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
And a case manager for the Sheriff's Department. From 2004 through 2008, a reintegration coordinator and court liaison individual, and then from 2008 through 2011, a victim witness advocate, and 2011 through the present, reintegration coordinator out of Lawrence. Julie's work is focused largely on program coordination, administration, and reporting, on program resource centers and establishing operating guidelines. She's coordinated 2 grand openings of 2 resource centers. She served as a liaison between the state departments and the Essex County Sheriff's Office. She's established and maintained relationships with many outside agencies. She's managed treatment referrals for placement in need-specific programs, which is exactly what we're going to be looking for as one of her major roles as the recovery coach. She's established treatment programs for inmates as they progress into transitional living, and she collaborates with other attorneys, probation officers, and other social service agencies to make appropriate referrals. And as you can imagine, with any outsource outreach worker, certainly in a recovery coach role, with the amount of mental health coordination that's needed with people that are suffering through these, as well as the families, it's very important to have somebody with the background and the obvious resume that can come in here and hit the ground running on day one. Julie has a bachelor's in criminal justice from Northeastern, as well as a master's in criminal justice from Western New England College. She was the favorite out of the interview committee, and I'm very excited to bring her on. She will be able to start with us on or about September 1st. So with that stated, Mr. Denizio, I would respectfully request the appointment of Julie Hartling to the position of recovery coach within the Burlington Police Department.
Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the chief's recommendation, I'm happy to appoint Julie Hartling to the position of recovery coach from the Burlington Police Department, and effective September 1.
Okay. No, we don't have to wait.
We have plenty of time, so.
So, all right, just for the record, because we have a member of the board attending virtually, everything has to be done by roll call. So I will start in the room. Want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Well, we're not making a motion to waive.
Oh, okay, well,
'Cause it's-
oh, right, it's fine,
first.
right. Then, yeah, then we're good.
All right, so all those in favor, Mr. Priest?
Aye.
Mr. Morandi?
Aye.
Ms. Colley?
Aye.
And the chair is aye, 400. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, go around. This way. Go around.
Thank you.
Just go around the side.
And watch this.
Chris didn't tell you?
This way.
Come on the inside.
Sorry.
It's just a lot easier.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, chief, next one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the next one is for the position of Special Police Officer. As you know, our main focus is to keep our retired officers post-certified so that they can work details. Over the past couple of weeks, we've had a couple of resignations from prior retired officers who have decided to completely hang up the uniform and move on, but we have a need to backfill in our ranks. So we have quite a good list going on of retired officers, and the name I'm bringing you tonight is A. William Reimel, Jr. He is a retired Somerville police officer. He worked for Somerville from 1995 through 2025, retiring as a lieutenant in good standing back this past August. He holds all the requisite training as a post-certified police officer in Massachusetts. He's highly recommended by many active Burlington Police Department officers as well as Somerville Police Department officers, and it is my pleasure to recommend A. William Reimel for the position of Special Police Officer within the Burlington Police Department upon the Town Administrator's appointment.
Mr. Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the chief's recommendation, I will appoint William Reimel to the position of Special Police Officer in the Burlington Police Department, effective tomorrow, Chief?
Yes, please.
Effective July 14, 2026. I ask the board to waive their 15-day waiting period.
So moved. Second?
All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor, Mr. Morandi,
Aye.
Mr. Priest,
Aye.
Ms. Colley. Sarah? Aye, okay, I'll take that as an aye. And the chair is aye, 400.
Thank you very much.
Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, DPW, Special Heavy Equipment Operator, Brian and Anthony.
Good evening, Chair, Board.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for seeing us. After conducting interviews for Special Heavy Equipment Operator in our Highway Division, I'm pleased to recommend Rich Lembo for this role. Mr. Lembo had previously worked within our DPW where he demonstrated a strong work ethic, reliability, and a solid understanding of our operations. During his prior employment, he performed his duties proficiently and was a dependable member of the team. He currently holds CDL-A, 2A, hoisting 1B, 4E, and 4G, and given his previous performance and knowledge of our highway department, I believe he will once again be a valuable addition and ask that his start date be July 14th.
Mr. Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The recommendation of Mr. White and D. Simone, I would like to appoint and welcome back Mr. Lembo and to be Special Heavy Equipment Operator with the Burlington DPW, effective July 14th, 2026, and ask the board to waive their 15-day waiting period.
So moved. Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Nick?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Sarah? And the chair is an aye, 400. Congrats, welcome back, Rich.
Welcome back. I'm in the back row.
Okay, thank you, Brian and Anthony. Next item on the agenda is one of the things we love doing, proclamations. Girl Scouts Gold Award. So I had the pleasure of attending the Girl Scouts Gold Award about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, at Memorial School, and to hear what our young adults are doing in the town of Burlington, it's amazing. And I thought that these two young ladies need to be specially recognized by this board for their accomplishment, what they've done. That being said, Eco Megna, you want to come up to the table here? And just introduce yourself to the, I met you, so just introduce yourself to the other members of the board.
Hello, my name is Eiko Koram.
My name is Meghna Dinesh.
Okay, what we're gonna do is, Mr. Priest has a couple of proclamations he's gonna read for you, for us.
Yes, I am. First off, congratulations to you both on this wonderful achievement. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, as you both obviously know. And Mr. Tigas is right. Recognition is not everything, but it's important, and I'm glad that we could have you here tonight. So Aiko, we'll start with you, all right? Whereas Aiko Coram, work, perseverance, and dedication have allowed her to fulfill her goal of receiving an invite to the Gold Award ceremony. And whereas a Gold Award is the highest achievement in Girl Scouting and has gone by different names over the years, First Class, Curved Bar, Golden Eaglet, and Golden Eaglet of Merit, a small percentage of Girl Scouts has successfully risen to the challenges which are faced when attempting to obtain this rank. And many Scouts who have obtained this honor have gone on to distinguish themselves in their respective areas. And whereas Aiko Coram joins an impressive list of important Americans who have gone before her to receive an invitation, and they spend a major part of their young life learning how to succeed, including Melissa Bachman, famous for TV host for Winchester Deadly Passion, Jenny Sebastian Storage, current General of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Tammy Duckworth, retired Lieutenant Colonel and current Senator of Illinois, Nita Vasson, American psychiatrist and author of the Amazon bestseller Do Good Well, Your Guide to Leadership, Action, and Social Innovation. Whereas Aiko Coram is being inducted into the most prestigious award of the Girl Scouts. Her service project was to elevate awareness in special ways about how deforestation impacts the ecosystem. She wrote, illustrated, and self-published a children's book to inform the youth about conservation and how human expansion affects our environment. She hosted her own Read Aloud and interactive events at camps, libraries, and schools with over 220 participants. Therefore, we, the Select Board of the Town of Burlington, do hereby proclaim July 14th, 2026 as Aiko Coram Day and urge all residents to make known their admiration of her achievements and urge her to use this honor as a catalyst to achieving the goals she has set forth for herself for the future. Congratulations. There you go. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. Watch your step.
Okay, she wrote a book. Imagine that.
It's incredible.
That's amazing.
Sure, I can't read. Now, Magna, what I will say is that a bunch of this is similar in that obviously the two of you are receiving the same, a similar proclamation. So I'm going to read the whole thing in full because you deserve to be recognized in full. Okay. But as you hear me say it, you're going to say those are the same things he just read. But obviously the paragraph about you is specific. So. Whereas Magna Dinesh, work, perseverance, and dedication have allowed her to fulfill her goal of receiving an invite to the Gold Award ceremony. And whereas a Gold Award is the highest achievement in Girl Scouting and has gone by different names over the years, First Class, Curved Bar, Golden Eaglet, and Golden Eaglet of Merit, a small percentage of Girl Scouts have successfully risen to the challenges which are faced when attempting to obtain this rank. And many Scouts who have obtained this honor have gone on to distinguish themselves in their respective areas. And whereas Magna Dinesh joins an impressive list of important Americans who have gone before her to receive an invitation, and they spend a major part of their young life learning how to succeed, including Melissa Bachman, famous TV host for Winchester Deadly Passion, Jenny Sebastian Storage, current Journal of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Tammy Duckworth, retired Lieutenant Colonel and current Senator of Illinois, Nita Vasson, American psychiatrist and author of the Amazon bestseller Do Good Well, Your Guide to Leadership, Action, and Social Innovation. Whereas Magna Dinesh is being inducted into this most prestigious award of the Girl Scouts. Her service project was participating in programs and student leadership to bring awareness to gender imbalance in foreign policy. She elevated this by leading, participating in conferences and discussions with assistance from model UN student leaders and faculty. She educated others about this sphere by providing comfort, knowledge, and guidance. Therefore, we, the Select Board of the Town of Burlington, do hereby proclaim July 15th, 2026 as Magna Dinesh Day and urge all residents to make known their admiration of her achievements and urge her to use this honor as a catalyst to achieving the goals she has set forth for herself for the future. Congratulations. Great work.
Any comment?
Comment, sure. I'm always happy to comment. You know, it is no small effort, no small feat, the level of dedication and service that the two of you have accomplished. I think that looking back on this, you'll note it as a time in your life where you said you could and you did. And I think that that is a great driving force in one's life. I was just telling my kids the other day that I have a problem when someone tells me I can't do something. I take it as a bit of a challenge, in fact, because no one but myself can tell me that I can't do something. And I think that it's really important that we kind of harbor a piece of that in us as we move forward in life, that really the only obstacle that faces us is ourselves. And that when we put our mind to it and we dedicate our time and our effort, that we can accomplish anything. And these proclamations and the work that you've put forward show just the first step in what can be a fantastic life and career going forward. So I wish you both nothing but absolute success and happiness in your lives going forward, and hope that we hear wonderful things from you soon.
Thank you. Joe, any comment?
After that, there's nothing left to say.
I'm sure you've got a few good words.
That's why we can't let him go first. There's nothing left for the rest of us. All I can say is congratulations. It's amazing that you got that far. It's wonderful. I think it's great. It's going to help you out later on in life. To sit in positions that you're never going to think you even want to do, and you'll just move straight ahead because you have the desire and the drive to do it. So congratulations.
Ms. Colley, are you able to unmute or just?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great, thank you. And I just wanted to take a quick moment to say congratulations to you both on your achievement of the Gold Award. This is so impressive, and just hearing about the details of your projects was really just fascinating. And congratulations to you both. I hope you're able to take some time to celebrate and really just soak in the just how amazing this award is. So really looking forward to seeing what you all have for the future, and thank you for all your contributions to the community.
Thank you, Sarah. I spoke at their Gold Award ceremony. They've already heard me once, so I won't go a second time, but correct me if I'm wrong, obviously we have 2 Gold Award recipients. Okay, thank you. Last year we had 1, and I think we had a drought of 11 years? 2012. 2012 was the last Gold Award prior to last year, which shows that scouting's coming back, I hope. You two are obviously great examples of that. But you also have adults that have helped you along the way. And what I'm thinking about, the person I'm thinking about right now is Linda McNamee, because Linda was at your Gold Award ceremony, and the week before, I was at an Eagle Scout ceremony where I had to read it 3 times, 3 proclamations for 3 Eagle Scouts. So having a Gold Award recipient or an Eagle Scout recipient is not common. Burlington had 3 Eagles and then 2 Golds. So Linda, you were at both. But it's people like you that keep this town vibrant, and the youth, and turning them into great adults. So Linda, thanks to you. Parents, thanks to you. You raised 2 fine young women. I've got nothing else to add, but you're awesome.
Congratulations.
You guys have any words? Or you don't have to. It's just say thank you, Linda, or something like that. You can say something.
I would like to thank everybody who supported me along the way, but especially my parents for always being there to support me and even driving me here today. Yes, so thank you so much for the
day. We gave you a
yes,
day.
for the for the proclamation. Yes, sorry.
I also want to say thank you to my parents and Linda, obviously. When I started Girl Scouts, I didn't think I would actually get the Gold Award. I was like, oh, that's too far ahead of me, and then it just happened. Yeah, I wouldn't be here getting this proclamation without them, and thank you for giving me the proclamation and the day. I saw the Eagle Scouts got it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, you've got a day. Mr. Moran.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, girls, I want you to understand something. So if you read your proclamation, it says that you have a day, right? Today is your day. So it doesn't matter what your parents say, you can do whatever you want. Today's your day. So you get, it's like a free pass. So if you want to go to McDonald's and they don't ever let you, go. If you want to go do something, go do it. Today's your day. They can't say anything at all. Look what you just accomplished. One day out of 365 for the year. Do whatever you want to do. Okay? That's my
Thank you.
advice.
All
How
right,
good is it?
We're all set. Good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Have a good day, girls. Congratulations.
Okay, next item on the agenda is public participation in the room. Anybody in the room? I see Alex. All right, Alex, sign in if you haven't.
Hi, my name is Alex and I live in Pine Glen. First, I want to say that the update last meeting was informative, helpful, and very much appreciated. I think having something like that annually with the slideshow and everything would be fantastic. However, in the meantime, I'd like to request smaller, more frequent updates. I think there's been a bit of a disconnect between what this board considers news and what the public considers news. And what I think is happening is that the board is talking about major milestones in progress. And just speaking for myself, what I actually want as a community member is a frequent update on the small stuff. And my complaint isn't that that hasn't been available upon request. I've emailed or spoken to members over the past year and have always been given updates that I've been really happy with. I've considered them news. And then I've passed those on to others who have also been happy to hear them. But having to request them instead of having them be publicly available, I don't think that makes any sense for people to need to know that they have to email Mike to get an update. That's a convoluted process. And I don't think the standard for this board needs to be major news and milestones. It isn't for other subjects. What I'm telling you is that the public is clamoring for the mundane. We want the updates that would fit on a Post-it note, maybe every month or two. I don't think anyone is tuning into the select board for the major drama. That's what we watch town meeting for. I want information that you're already providing, just given out loud at meetings instead of email or in person on request, because that's just a convoluted way to disseminate information that a lot of people care about. And not having this work be shown in public doesn't end up being a fair representation of the work that's being put in. So to sum up, what I'm asking for are the small updates at regular meetings, ideally so I have a link that I can send to people when they ask, routinely every 1 to 3 months, and in the agenda or minutes in some way, so that it comes up when people are looking for it on their own. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Anybody else in the room for public participation? Anybody online for public participation? Seeing none, we'll move on. Approval, Leahy Clinic 5K. Dr. Hesketh, I see you online.
Mr. Chairman, we sent Dr. Hesketh a request to unmute, so it'll show up on his screen.
Okay.
If anybody else is online, is here
I'm
from
not sure if
Leahy.
anybody else online is with Leahy. If you are, just let us know, raise your hand.
There we go.
Here's Dr. Hesketh. Dr. Hesketh, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Are you presenting alone, or is there someone else presenting with you?
I think, is there anyone from Leahy that's there? Or I thought there was going to be a Representative John Anise. Is he there?
No. No, we have the information, though, in the backup material. If you just want to introduce yourself and just explain.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Thanks, Jim. So my name is Paul Hesketh. I'm a medical oncologist at Leahy, and I'm actually the director of the Leahy Cancer Institute. And just by the way, I think you probably also know that we've had a change in our name. We are now Leahy Clinic again. We've kind of returned to our original heritage. And as of June, we're no longer Leahy Hospital and Medical Center, but Leahy Clinic. So I'm really very proud to be part of the Leahy 5K walk and run. since I joined Leahy in 2010. The first event was held in 2005. I think COVID kind of interrupted us for a couple of years, but this will actually be the 20th Leahy 5K cancer walk and run this year. So we're very, very excited about it. I think it's really a special event for at least two very important reasons. I think number one, obviously, it's an important fundraiser for innumerable activities that we have in support of our patients at Leahy. I mean, this is really an exciting time in terms of cancer care for both Leahy and in general. As you're probably aware, we have a brand new radiation oncology facility that opened in late 2024. And the Cancer Institute has grown enormously over the 15 years since I initially joined in 2010. So I think we've raised in excess of $3.5 million through this event. And so obviously that money has been critical in supporting a lot of direct patient-related support activities. In addition, apart from the money, it's a great social event. It brings together many, many patients. It brings together their families. It brings together their support structure and their providers in the same setting, in a very, very nice social setting. The weather is always good. We demand that it does not rain, and I don't think it's rained in quite a while. So somehow someone's looking over us in that regard. But it's a tremendous event that our patients and staff look forward to every year. And so we're very appreciative of the support that we've had from the town of Burlington and the Board of Selectmen in particular. I know that Jim has joined our event for several years. He always makes very cogent remarks, and we're very, very appreciative of those in our opening ceremonies that we have prior to the event each year. And hopefully, Jim, you'll be able to join us again this year, and we extend the invitation to other board members as well. We would love to have you there. But I think we're very excited about this year's event. The preparations are going very, very well. We love the fact that it's basically based in Burlington. We start the run and the walk on campus, goes through Burlington, and then comes back and ends on the campus. And that hasn't been always the case. We've had a different location in other years, but in recent years, we've consistently felt that we should be based, at the campus itself. So again, I want to extend my tremendous thanks to the board for your support, for the town of Burlington's support. And again, happy to answer any questions that you have, but we really invite all the members of the board, if they'd like to join us for this year's event in September.
Thank you, Dr. Hesketh. Just for the record, I did speak with John today earlier, and I told him we had all the backup information, all the necessary information, and that I expected you to be presenting virtually, and I told him it wasn't necessary for him to be here. That's my bad. I thought so.
Okay.
But anyway, Sarah, any comments or questions?
No comments. I see that, I will ask a question. I see that there's no rain date. Has that always been the case? There's never been a rain date? And you guys, is it rain or shine kind of situation?
Maybe we're being a bit naive, but you're right. There has never been a rain date. So it will go off, rain or shine, but we've actually been very, very fortunate. And that weather has not been a barrier. I hope that continues, but we don't have a rain date. One of the reasons why is that we run the event in coordination with another event that's held on the campus where there basically is a large tent that's erected. And so we take advantage of facilities that have already been set up for an event that's held the day prior to that. So our timing is typically linked to that event. So we do have a large tent. So it's not going to help the walkers, but we have a number of displays, different programs in the Cancer Center display informational booths there. Some of our sponsors from different pharmaceutical companies have informational booths as well. and all of that is under a tent. So we are kind of protected in the event that we do have some adverse weather.
Great. I have no other comments other than to say I know this event has been going on for many, many years, but did not realize the size of it. To see that there's are typically 600 to 900 runners is really impressive and really remarkable. So hopefully I will put this in my calendar and hopefully I can make it. I don't know that I will run, but I will be there to support all the runners. So thank you so much for all your contributions.
You don't have to run, Sarah. I don't run either, but I just try to walk fast if I can. So you're welcome. We would love to see you there.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. One of the displays that they have is this inflatable Colin you can literally walk through. This Colin, it's the size of this room. It's incredible to see. So I encourage the members to come down to that event and see the whole thing. Nick.
Yeah.
I had to set you up for that.
Thanks, Jim. I will keep my remarks to myself on that. I do think that this is a wonderful event, and it's been going on for a number of years now. And Doc, thanks for being here. We appreciate you taking the time out to come to the meeting and explain the event. Sarah, you're right. This thing is quite large, and I'm glad because it obviously is for a good cause, and more than anything raises awareness, which I feel like we are quick to. Say, yeah, of course I need to do that with regards to our health. And then, next thing you know, X number of days, weeks, months, years goes by. Especially when it comes to things like cancer everything that oncology has become, over the last few decades has been absolutely incredible. So I obviously support this and will be putting it on my calendar and look forward to attending.
Thank you, Mr. Priest. Joe.
Yep, just a couple of quick comments. What time is this going off? I don't think it's on there. I didn't see it. So what time does it start? The registration?
I believe it's the kickoff for the actual walk, I believe, is at 9. We can get you the details on that. I mean, people are certainly welcome to come before that. We're basically set up there by 7 in the morning. So I think the other thing is that the main garage is open, the parking is free, so there's no issues in terms of access. I can get you the specific times, but I believe the actual walk kicks off. It's either at 8:30 or 9, but I can get that for you. So we don't start late. We start early in the morning, and again, we're setting up typically by 7 in the morning.
No, I appreciate that. Like I said, I just didn't see it on here, and it's more for the people that are gonna be there and stuff like that. But this is a public meeting. We are on TV, so I figure it's a good plug to put in there right now. The other thing is, it's been the 12 years I've been here. It's been fantastic every time. So. There's no reason to not have this go through at all in any way. It's just fantastic what they do for the community. So I'll be a yes on this.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, it is an amazing event with amazing people and the connection that many of them have, whether it be through healthcare workers or being patients, the families. They bring their dogs out for the walk. I think Marcus might like that, Joe.
His owner won't. It's a long way.
But it is truly.
Did you say dogs as well?
Yeah, I've seen dogs there too.
Yeah, but they got to be on leashes. They got to be on leashes.
Yes. But it is an amazing event, and I just highly encourage anybody, even if you're not going to participate, just to go down the event and see the size of this event and what it means to people and what it means to have Leahy right here in Burlington, in our town. It's a very, very positive event for a very, very serious issue. But anyway, that being said, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to approve the Leahy Clinic 5K race for September 19th with the information that's been provided.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call vote. Nick?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Sarah?
Aye.
And the chair is aye, 400. I will see you in September, Dr. Haskett.
Thank you very much. Again,
Okay.
we really, really appreciate your support.
Okay. Next item on the
Have a good
agenda is approval for the town clerk's office. Patrick, I believe you're going to handle this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is an annual article, or, I'm sorry, not an annual agenda item related to the elections cycle coming up in the fiscal year. So the clerk's office is asking to do three things here. Authorize early and in-person voting for all elections in fiscal year 2027. So in-person early voting is required for federal and state elections and optional by municipality for local elections. And I think we've had great success having that as part of our local elections, so the town clerk is requesting that as well for this fiscal year. Approve and sign the election warrant for the September 1 primary. And then the second part has two components. Appoint the election workers, so the clerk through the backup has sent the election workers, and in addition to that, also approve and assign the public safety plan for police officers to be present at polling locations, which is a relatively new piece of the legislation where annually the select board has to approve that, and that is done in consultation with the police chief to make sure that there's coverage at any polling locations for security at those locations. So those are the actions that are being requested by the town clerk as part of the annual process for setting the election, as well as approving and appointing poll workers and approving early and in-person voting for the elections this fiscal year.
Does that require 3 votes, or just can one?
I think you can take it in one vote as presented. That will suffice.
Joe, any questions?
None.
Nick?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Sarah, any questions or comments?
No questions or comments. Thank you.
And I have none either. This is an annual item, and we typically approve it as one. So that being said, I'll be looking for a motion to approve election warrant, poll workers, and early and mail-in voting as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. We're going to do a roll call vote. Joe?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sarah?
Aye.
And the chair is a yes. 400. Okay, next item, approval one-day liquor license. Melissa?
Thank you. Good evening. For the record, my name is Melissa Tintopoulos with the Economic Development Office, and I am here this evening to request approval for one-day liquor licenses for Mighty Squirrel and Arlington Brewing Company for the Burlington Town Center Beer Garden. That's planned to take place on Thursdays in September from 4:30 to 8:30. As many of you know, this is now the 5th year that we are doing it on Thursdays. And it's a seasonal placemaking effort, a business activation plan that we had done as part of the implementation of our strategies for Town Center, kind of in fulfillment of the master plan recommendations, which had identified programming and collaboration with businesses in the Town Center for activation and foot traffic. And this event has now, what we've done with the seasonal additional piece is really bring it back from 4:30 to 8:30 on Thursdays, brings in approximately 500 visitors. We've engaged, each Thursday brings some live music as well as opportunities for businesses to participate. We have table opportunities. On average, we have about 15 businesses at no cost, just to allow them to present, what they're doing in the town center. And I think this is just a good, activity that has been not only an opportunity to do community development, but then it also kind of demonstrates how these private property spaces can be activated with some creativity on a temporary basis. So that's kind of the background. And as you are familiar with, the event, this is now, as I said, 5th year.
Thank you, Melissa. I'll start with Sarah. Sarah, any questions or comments?
Just one question, and I don't know if this is the time to ask this question, but I do remember last year that one of the dates got rained out, and then we had to come back and request another a rain date in a special meeting kind of thing. Is this the time that we want to talk about putting in rain dates for these dates?
Sarah, Melissa.
Yes, so I think what we're looking at is September 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th. And it would alternate between Mighty Squirrel and Arlington Brewing Company. We do have a rain date on the application for 10/1, but we just wouldn't know exactly who would be attributed that to.
Okay, so that's a placeholder for a rain date if one of those dates gets rained on, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, I did not see that in the application, so appreciate that. Other than that, I have no questions. I love this event, or these events that happen every year, and I just want to thank Melissa and Kelly and everyone else who's involved, because it is a lot of moving parts to get all of the vendors and all of the different businesses who have tables set up and on which days and that kind of thing. It's a lot of moving parts, so I really appreciate all the work that goes into these, and I feel like they get better and better every year. There's more people, it's more efficient, it's more, I don't know, it just seems like just generally great vibes every night, and I'm really looking forward to this year. I would actually love to hear if there's anything different that you guys are doing this year, that you've learned, sort of lessons learned from previous years, and anything that you want to share there.
Thank you. In terms of the business, the initiative itself, we have looked at trying to locate it in different locations. We've talked about that. We've engaged different property owners at different times, including the area on the side of Shaw's and the property owner at O'Reilly's across the street. For different reasons on timing and some other constraints, those have been hard to kind of realize. There has been talk of, if this is, about business activation, do we continue with the beer garden, or are there other new ideas that we should explore? But that would probably be for the next year.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for answering my questions, and I'm fully in support of this.
Thank you, Sarah. Nick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Melissa, this is something that, I think as an initial idea, we were very supportive of to give it a shot. And boy, has it evolved and grown, going last fall, and just seeing how big it's gotten, is a testament to, I think, finding something that people were interested in and giving them an opportunity to come out and support it. And that's kind of one of those wonky things with placemaking, right? Like you're just trying something in the hopes that people gravitate towards it, and seeing if it sticks. And this stuck, right? And I think that we should keep doing it, right? It works. It's successful. It's bringing people together. It's exposing vendors and businesses and giving them an opportunity to present face time to residents. And And I think it's fantastic in that way. I would say that if you're going to start exploring other placemaking opportunities, I wouldn't do them in lieu of this. I would continue experimenting with other things, you know, that may or may not work, right? And I think that's the catch right now, right? Is that we have to experiment. This was an experiment and it worked out. It could have not worked out, right? We could have been like, oh, nope, we got 10 people, or it was just, you know, a handful of us and some town meeting members. But like, I consistently go to these things and meet new people all the time, right? Which is fantastic because it's doing what we want it to do. So I would strongly encourage, you know, maintaining this and then experimenting. And then I'll cough and say retro arcade. You know, because yeah, you know my feelings on that. You know, this has been great. I have no further questions or comments for that matter. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Nick. Joe?
No, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Alan loves it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, so I agree with Nick that if you do look at other venues or opportunities, this one should stay because I know people look forward to it. They're already starting to ask, are we doing it again? Are we doing it again? Yes. People look forward to it. It's always crowded. I don't know if you have a list of other property owners in mind, but I'd say if you're thinking of other places in town to try an experiment, try to do something, maybe invite those property owners to this event or send them an email saying, hey, just check this out because this might work for you, to try to get to diversify it and spread it out and not to just keep it limited to the beer garden, but keep the beer garden and tell the other property owners, look, we can place make on your property. It's a public-private partnership. So, no, it's always well attended, always great. So, absolutely, I'm definitely supporting this. So I'll be looking for a motion for someone to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the one-day liquor licenses for the beer garden for September 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th with the rain date of October 1st.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Okay, Sarah?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. 4-0-0.
Thank you for your support, appreciate it.
Thanks, Melissa.
Okay, next item on the agenda, update for Government Review Committee. We all know you, Betsy, but you just have to identify yourselves for the record. There you go. Forward here.
Good evening. My name is Betsy Hughes. I'm the chair of the Burlington Government Review Committee, and
I'm Russell Miner, a member of the Government Review Committee.
So thank you very much for letting us come in and provide an update on the project that we've had. We have been meeting for over a year, 2 times a week, and many times 3 or 4 times a week with subcommittee meetings. And I'm going to try to fit all of that information into 10 minutes, which is how much time I've been told I have. So I am going to cruise through this. There's so much detail. I'm going to try not to cheap out on anything because it's really an exciting project, and I think we're making some good progress. But one of the things, so we'll provide you an overview of the project and review some of the potential recommendations that we're planning on making, and most importantly, solicit your input and feedback.
Don't feel rushed. This is important, so don't feel rushed.
Okay. So stop me as I go along. I have trimmed down the slides a little bit, so you're not going to get 73 slides. No, it wasn't that much. Anyhow, before we get deeper in that, let me introduce you to our committee. This is a group that, as you know, you have put on this committee and voted into this committee. We are a very diverse group with experience in government, some of us and others not at all. Most of us have been in different jobs, whether it's engineering, journalism, human resource, finance. We have a CPA, hydrogeologist, and a relatively new college grad. So we have a lot of different kind of experience. As I mentioned, we've met every 2 weeks since last June, and from the outset, you gave us a defined mission. One of the things I want to point out is that although initially appointed by you, we've been politically agnostic in our approach. No board or committee has influenced our deliberations at all. So we've tried to keep it that way. The mission that you provided to us is, as you can see here, to ensure an appropriate and effective and accountable organization. And in order to do that, you asked us to do the following items: to develop a charter for the town based on extensive research, including analyzing what we have today, as well as benchmark comparable communities; to look at the role, responsibilities, and authority level of the town administrator; to look at whether we should have provisions such as recall; to define clearly what should be left in a bylaw versus incorporated into a charter; and at the end of the project, create a report as well as a charter with proposed changes. You made it clear that this needs to be a rigorous, inclusive, and open process where nothing is hidden. So, what has informed this process? And my forward thing is not working.
Try it now.
Okay, great, thank you. With the Collins Center support, BGRC has reviewed our bylaws and special acts, as well as many state requirements as they pertain to town government structure and practice. We established benchmark towns with similar populations, suburban in nature, have a select board and representative town meeting structure, and operate under a combination of special acts and bylaws. We have conducted interviews with stakeholders, including town employees, town meeting members, board and committee members, and members of the business community. We had a questionnaire at the January Civic Forum, and reports of these efforts can be found on our website, where I think you find it pretty interesting reading. We've had other outreach activities as well, such as the town-wide survey, meetings with boards and committees, and in June we had our full community forum meeting. We learned a lot through this process, and I'm going to take a minute to share some of those key learnings with you. So from the stakeholders, what we found out is people who work for and with the town have a great deal of pride in what they do. That said, we heard loud and clear that there are issues that need to be addressed with a strong desire to fix them, with some looking to this process to do just that. One of the first things we heard is that the town operates in silos, that there's a lack of collaboration and communication between town departments and boards, and lines of authority are unclear, which leads to conflict and inefficiency. And these interviews were done last October, just to give you a sense of timing. There were also policies were not consistently applied from one department to another, which also caused some issues. It's the personal relationships that gets things done in Burlington. We heard that also loud and clear. When it comes to town meeting, the committees defined by our bylaws need a complete review to validate the role and responsibilities for those committees, with the potential of maybe some consolidation or even in one case elimination. We have a facilities committee for town meeting, which actually doesn't exist. So we either need to figure out whether we want to have one of those or delete it from the bylaw. We heard that town meeting members need to attend all sessions and should not leave until the session is over. All of that said, overall the town does a pretty good job of representing our community's interests. The next step is to incorporate the feedback from the 1,151 completed surveys in our recent effort, which we are really pleased to say represents 11% of Burlington households. Our consultant told us we'd be lucky to get 3%, and then the stretch would be 5%. So this is, I think, a really significant thing and shows the amount of energy and enthusiasm there is on the part of the town for giving feedback. Speaking of the town's survey, and this is hot off the press, and the Collins Center consultant is going to be presenting the full survey results to our BGRC committee on the 28th of July. But we thought that you'd be interested in some top-level highlights. So just to kind of go in it. Well, I think one of the biggest surprises for me, and I think many in the community, was the overwhelming desire to have a recall mandate. This is something that many of you may know was before town meeting this past year. I think it was last year or a year before, and which did not go through. So, but according to the survey, that is something we are revisiting that and discussing that at our next meeting, which is tomorrow night. The total support for maintaining the representative town meeting select board model, which is really reinforcing what the committee had already decided that we were going to recommend. There was support for centralized operations under the town administrator/manager, and with that role having the appointment and removal authority, as long as with the board approval. However, there's no clear consensus at all about what that role should be called. So we will be discussing that in the committee and making a decision what our recommendation will be on that front as well. There's a really a strong preference to keep the current elected boards elected. So we looked at all the elected boards. We interviewed many of them. We looked at all their charters, et cetera. We looked at what other communities have as elected, what the responsibilities are, et cetera. We also came up with the recommendation to keep that elected. Another surprise is the strength of the desire for term limits. And I won't need to read these, but as you can see here, it gives the percentages by the boards that came up on the list. This is not something we had originally thought we were going to be talking about, so it is now being added onto our list of things to deliberate and will be coming up in an upcoming meeting. In general, everybody felt pretty well informed, and email being the #1 preference for getting information about the town, the website being the second, and the buzz being the third. Once the committee reviews and discusses the details findings, and I can show you it was a 15-question survey and a 122-page analysis of the results, much of which are written comments. So there's going to be a lot to discuss that will be done at our meeting on the 28th. Once that's done, we will post the results of the survey on the BGRC website, so people can take a look at that at their leisure. And of course, there could be BCAT recordings, and ultimately, this will show up in the committee's ultimate report. In the process of talking to a significant number of people and groups over the past year, the most common questions we've been asked are, what's a charter and why should Burlington create one? Simply put, a charter will serve as Burlington's constitution. Today, our government is regulated by our bylaws, special acts, state law, policies and procedures, and in some cases, actually just tradition, some of which are outdated and in some cases contradictory, and much of which can be difficult to understand. If you read through our bylaws, you can see where they're maybe updated, and you'll see 3 or 4 updates, and it's a little confusing as to where you are at any given point in time. One way to make this all understandable is to consolidate much of that into a charter. What's included in a charter? Basically, you can find, if you consider this like a table of contents, these are the areas that will be flushed out. From the legislative branch to the executive, and then ending with the administrative organization. The committee will propose the structure, responsibilities, requirements, regulations, and accountabilities within each of these areas. To date, the committee has reviewed the areas you see in red here and has recommendations on that front and of things that will be included in the charter. Most of this are currently what is in the bylaws today. So it's not making up new stuff, it's just taking things from the bylaws, take from state law, and stuff from the special acts, and putting it all in one place. So where do we go from here? It is really a aggressive timeframe that we have been on for the past year. We're going to take the input that we've gathered through the town survey, incorporate what we hear from our numerous input sessions, of which I think we've done 7 or 8, and we have more now that we're doing with town meeting committees, and finalized our proposed charter and whatever other recommendations we would like to make. Then we'll go to town council for review. I've already met with Lisa, and we have established a time frame for how, and a process for how that was going to happen. And from there, we finalize the charter and create a report. Then, on to you for review and approval. That will happen in September. From there, we go to town meeting for the January town meeting. Once we have those approvals, the charter will go to the legislature for approval, and ultimately will end up on the governor's desk. Finally, after the process is complete, the charter will all likelihood end up on the ballot and go to the voters for ratification. But enough about the project itself. Now we want to take you through a couple of the recommendations. After a thorough review and much discussion, the committee decided that we would recommend the Burlington continue to have representative town meeting with a select board structure. So that once that decision was made, the first area of discussion was the legislative branch and town meeting. In that process, we plan to recommend that there's no change in the number of representatives per precinct, and have reaffirmed the responsibility, power, and authority vested in that body. In the process of doing that, we looked at analysis of how many people ran for 5 years for each one of the positions in town meeting to see if it was a competitive situation, which it was, whether we should have it smaller or larger, and where we came out was just about right. Additionally, we've clarified language in the charter that eliminates the very confusing bylaw language that's now in use for the timing of town meeting, which, if you haven't read it, it says, "Town meeting shall be a continuous body, but it may adjourn for periods of not exceeding 150 days." In other words, town meeting meets 3 times a year, January, May, and September. So now we're going to say that. Based on our review of best practice, the required specialized knowledge, the reality of the cost of annual election campaigns, and the resulting potential negative impact on attracting qualified candidates from running, we are recommending that the town meeting moderator have a term of 3 years rather than the current 1 year. Finally, although not in the charter, we separately recommend the town meeting handbook be updated and upgraded. We are proposing to change the name of the Ways and Means Committee to the Finance Committee, a more common title for that committee, and one that says what it is, with the added bonus that people actually will understand it. We will recommend that regulations for town meeting committees be kept in the bylaws, but that a comprehensive review be conducted of all those committees in terms of their makeup, role, responsibilities, and whether they are still needed. We're also discussing with Capital Budget and Ways and Means as to whether it makes sense for the Capital Budget Committee to be a subcommittee under the Finance Committee. It appears that based on these discussions, the chairs have met and will work together, but their desire at this point is to stay separate. BGRC will be discussing this update at our meeting tomorrow, and we'll vote about whether we're going to continue with that recommendation. We had an extensive discussion about referenda, and after that voted to incorporate it in the charter, but leave it as it is today, so there will be no changes in the rules. Before I move to the executive branch, any questions on legislative?
Any questions? No? Just for the record, Sarah had to leave, but she wanted to say thank you for all the hard work you've done and your committee's done on this.
Okay. And please let her know that I'd be happy to chat with her if she has any questions based on this presentation, or anything else for that matter.
Okay.
Okay, on to the executive branch. We're going to recommend that the charter reflect the select board terms, number of members, and responsibilities stay as they currently are outlined in the bylaws, but it will now be located in the charter. There will be no proposed changes to the role of the elected boards play, but we will be proposing language that will assure that the number of members up for re-election is consistent. Right now, if, depending on what committee you're on, the language for how many people can run for re-election at one time, just to assure that there continues to be board members on it, is not the same. So we're just going to standardize that throughout the term. We are recommending that ethics standards currently outlined in the bylaws for just the planning board be applied to all elected boards in the charter. Additionally, we're recommending that all elected boards and town clerk remain elected. So no change there. As I mentioned before, that was also the overwhelming vote in the town survey, so, which is great, because that's one of the things we were going to recommend. What we're going to review now is the role of the town administrator. This is really the area where the committee is going to recommend the most change as we put together the charter. In the backup that you have, that Patrick sent out, or John sent out, there's a more detailed chart, but let's go from here. When it came to the town administrator role, what we're recommending in large part documents really what's happening today. In other areas, the charter will reflect new responsibilities. Although Mass General Law in Section 108N talks about the employment contracts for this role, it does not require one. It just says may be established. We are proposing that this be a requirement and put into the charter. We're expanding this. There's a town-wide scope where the town administrator will have expanded authority over budget, procurement, bylaw recommendations, and facilities that would go to the whole town, with carve-outs for the school department, school committee, and housing authority, most dictated by statute. There also will be a role for the town administrator in terms of coordination across elected boards and bodies. So if legitimizing things like all department meetings, et cetera. From a capital planning perspective, the town administrator would be responsible for the preparation of the rolling 5-year capital plan, working with the finance and budget committees, and that would include the school departments and would be required annually. From a procurement perspective, the town administrator would formally serve as the town's chief procurement officer, including the schools. From a financial perspective, the town administrator responsibility for the preparation of the annual operating budget for the town, except for the school department, a town-wide property inventory, which would include the schools, and annual financial and administrative report. From a policy perspective, the town administrator would prepare, implement, and ensure compliance with town human resource and financial policies, except for the schools, which have their own, and the IT policy for the town, including the schools. So we all have the same cybersecurity policy, for example. There would also is a provision written in there for an annual formal performance review for the town administrator, which would be the responsibility of the select board to conduct. And then there will be a formal removal process. And this is something that, as we learned, is something that really benefits not only the town, but the administrator itself, because it will outline the formal process should that unlikely event that be needed. And then finally, and importantly, in the unlikely event that the town administrator is suspended, that acting administrator would be appointed so the town is not left in the lurch. So that's pretty much where we are on the recommendations, as we still have some ways to go. We're finalizing the financial procedures at our meeting tomorrow, along with a recall provision. Patrick and John have been really helpful in providing us with a lot of information about how things are currently happening, and so I think we are going to be in pretty good shape to move forward with those. And then we will continue. There's a meeting with the Ways and Means Committee on Wednesday, and we will continue to roll out this. The latest version of the charter is on the town website, if you want to take a look at it. The only thing on the website is that the index is not it's one of those automated link things, but it's not linked yet to the actual page numbers. So when you look at it, it will be fixed, but it's not accurate at the moment. But you'll get a good sense of how it reads, what it looks like, and the ease of which people will be able to find out how our government works. So.
Thank you. Russell, do you have anything to add?
I guess just to say that, I joined this committee not knowing literally anything about town government. I was very much a novice. This has been an amazing process. I've learned so much, and it has also been something where I've been very impressed by the town itself. All the committees we've talked to, all the members we've talked to, the people we've met, and the engagement from the town. So I'm very excited about this. I think it's a great process, and I'm looking forward to getting more feedback and incorporating that on the committee.
Excellent. Joe? Blown away by it.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's one heck of a job. You guys did a great job on that. I'm going to go online, take a look at it again, and as questions go, none right now. None.
Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been sitting here wondering where to start. So I'm going to start with this first question, which is, how has this been received by other boards and committees so far?
I would say, I think pretty well. I think people still are wondering why a charter, why are we doing this? And, people forgot that there was actually a town meeting committee in 2018 that was formed, and one of the recommendations that town meeting committee made was that we have a charter. So, and I think there's some, for people who are working within the government, say, well, everything's kind of working now, why change it? And like anything, change is tough. So I think there's a little resistance to that. The charter's not going to eliminate the need for bylaws or state laws. It'll hopefully get rid of the tradition part of how we run our government, but the rest. So there'll still be some of those. But for the most part, the important parts of how things run will be in one place. It'll be modern language. I don't know if you've looked at the bylaws, but there's no page numbers on the bylaws. So if you go to find something, you can't find it on a page. You have to know what section, which article, and then within that find it. This will have page numbers. It's a little simple thing, but and also I think will clarify things that are really murky. So anyhow, so I think that's been one question. The idea of which is not a charter thing, but the bylaw recommendation to consolidate the capital budget got some support from some groups and big pushback from others, which is one of the reasons this process is iterative, because we're developing as we go, then we get feedback, we go back and retest things. So when I said we got some major feedback, the two chairs got together, and now the committee tomorrow is going to reconsider that recommendation. That's kind of a model for how we've been doing that.
That's great.
So I'm not aware of anything else that's had, I think we're getting some pushback, or at least some comments about moving to a 3-year term for the town moderator.
Sure.
There's some questions about whether that's a good idea or not, and we'll have to consider that as well. But the rest of it, I think, has been pretty well accepted. I don't think there's not really anything radical. I think once people realize that we're not really changing the rules, we're just relocating them and making them more understandable, I think that's, and I guess the other thing is that from a bylaw perspective, there's a question about how are we going to review the bylaws after this is in place to make sure that we clean them up. And one of the things that will happen in our report, I suspect, and I don't know if it's in the report, just the transition section of the charter itself, is going to be the recommendation that a committee be formed following the approval of this to review the bylaws as well as the committees to see if there are some that can be pulled out. In the meantime, the charter, if approved, takes priority over any of those. So we don't have to worry about if something's out of date in the bylaws, and the charter is what will drive the decision.
Okay. I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times heading into, you know, the future discussions, especially with town meeting. You know, I know that I was a big proponent of getting this going, because I really do believe that, you know, the best way for us to move forward is to constantly be willing to evaluate where we are now. And that, to your point, Betsy, while though change is not comfortable, it's important, right? And the needs of the community will consistently and forever evolve, and so too should its government in response to it. It's why I was so happy to hear that 11% of people took the survey. It's a fantastic number. I think we only had like 3% when, or not even, when we did the communications survey. You know, it is a testament to how important this is, that people took the time to take that survey and provide us with that input. And I think that, you know, anything that we're calling out here, like, I mean, you know, there was folks who said that they felt like things were siloed or certain things were inconsistent across departments. It's never about pointing the finger and saying, this is bad. It's saying, how can we get better, right? Where can we make improvements? Where are there opportunities for growth? You know, that we need to be open to embracing. And I think in large part, this process opens the door to those conversations. And then over time, like you said, we review things, we come back to it. We say, is this still working? Is this not working? You know, so I'm really glad that folks are engaging with the committee during this process. I'm sorry that it's as much work as it has turned out to be. I can never apologize enough for underassuming how much work it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a working committee. I knew it was going to be a lot of work. I had, quite frankly, no friggin' idea how much. And you, Betsy, and Jess, and the entire committee have taken this on and really embraced the spirit of the charter of the committee. And I thank each and every one of you for that. So in terms of next steps, this comes back to us in the fall for our final review and approval.
Right.
I'm going to use these words, although I don't know that that's quite right. I want to obviously approve the recommendations that the committee puts forward, but I also don't want to stop town meeting from having the discussion any which way, right? So I think what I'm trying to say is that the approval is really the approval of the work, not of the recommendations themselves.
I actually think it needs to be the approval of the recommendations, because you're not going to have another chance.
Want us to go all in?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All in with you.
Well, I think,
with the recommendation.
yeah, I mean, my understanding of this process is that you need to approve the charter. You need to approve the charter, and so if there are things in it that, once the committee gets there, I think the way it would work, and, you know, Lisa Mead obviously is the expert on this, not me, but is that you would give us feedback, and that hopefully, I really want to encourage you and the select board to read the charter that's posted, and, you know, maybe you wait until the next version, because we're going to get through some pretty meaty stuff in the next couple, and I can, you know, get it to John, and he can send it out, so that you can give us some feedback before we get into the final review, because we'll be asking for a vote of up or down at that point in time, and there may be some recommendations you make, and there may be some reasons why we don't think it's the appropriate thing to do, and we won't do it, and it may be that, you know, 4 of you like the charter and 1 of you do. I mean, like anything else, right? You vote up or down on it. Because from there, it goes from the select board to town meeting, who's going to vote up or down.
Right.
And then from the town meeting, it goes to the legislature. So, and if it fails at town meeting, then it's over.
But when you say vote up or down, I mean, we're still going to entertain, if say in section 1 of the charter, someone wants to make an amendment to make a change, right, that's still going to be on the floor. Like, we're not going to ask them to take the whole thing wholesale.
Right, I mean, like anything else, like a town meeting, that people can make on the floor, but that's the way with everything that's presented. But it should be, we're hoping that by the time we get there, certainly by the time we come to your meeting, we're hoping that you all are familiar enough with it and have asked the questions and got your concerns addressed so that you feel comfortable making a decision on it. With town meeting, our plan is to, in addition to the committee meetings, so we're meeting with all the committees of town meeting and getting their feedback. And in addition to that, we're talking about doing precinct meetings in the fall after the select board meeting, before town meeting, to try to socialize it with them, make sure we get the input from them and that sort of thing. And then we'll have to see how it goes. I think the big thing is to figure out where the objections are and, whether we pull some of the areas out that are controversial, if there are any.
Sure. Okay, awesome. Okay, then no further questions.
Okay, thanks, Nick. This is amazing. It's a lot of work. You guys, like Nick said, you and Jess and the committee are doing a fantastic job. The 11% blew me away. I actually had that as a question. But the simple things, what you're doing, Jay, you're cleaning it up, cleaning a lot of things up. Like the town meeting wording of, we're always in session, but no more than, that there itself, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And those all those little things add up to a big thing. It adds up to confusion. I love the idea of finance committee, because that's exactly what they are. Let's call them what they are. And maybe have, like you said, have capital, a suggestion would be have capital budget be a subcommittee, whatever, but they're the finance committee. What's a ways and means do? But it's an old term. And while on the topic of committees, whenever we have an issue pop up in town, we say, let's just make a committee, let's form a committee on it. And sometimes those committees just kind of stay when the problem that they were designed for, or built for, is gone, or it's no longer an issue. And I think there's a lot of overlap and duplication in some of the committees, and some of them are outdated. So this is a huge step in trimming the fat, so to speak, of all these things that we have that just overlap. And I think you guys are doing a great job. It's phenomenal. Just keep up the good work, that's all. John.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think in the beginning, when the Select Board created this committee and asked folks to volunteer and told them they were going to be working pretty hard, everybody has said it, they have. This committee is doing the Select Board proud. Anybody that's watched a meeting or has been to a meeting knows that. And to reiterate on something that Betsy said about a lot of the things that are changes are really just memorializing the way we do something right now that maybe isn't clear in the bylaws or something like that. And another one, she talked about meeting with employees and stakeholders, and I can tell you that the feedback that we got, and I was one of those people that got to go and meet with them, and the feedback was the same as I would give you, was that it was a safe place. Nobody had to worry about anything they were going to say, and it wasn't someone to come in and complain or tell you everything that's wrong. People got to share where their roadblocks were or what they thought might make things a little bit more efficient. I got to go to a meeting, and they had, one of the best in the business was there from Collins Center, and, they would say, well, how do we handle X, Y, Z? And I would say, well, technically, this is how we're supposed to do it, but in practice, maybe this is how we do it. And there was a lot of feedback from that. So I just wanted to echo your comments on how hard the group is working and thank them for all the work they've done. And to also just add those couple comments.
Patrick, did you want to chime in at all, or?
No, I've had the opportunity to present and to help provide some resources to the committee over the last year or so, and it's been a really great partnership. As Betsy said, they're separate from the sort of any political bodies, which is good, and we've been able to use that opportunity to provide sort of the basics of how government works and runs, and in our perspective. So we've been very grateful on the administration side to be able to have that opportunity.
Any further?
No, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just one last comment I'd like to make is that, we're here tonight briefing you, we're definitely coming back in September, but we can come anytime. So knowing that you're going to have to vote on this, and I want to make sure you feel comfortable with it, I really would look to you to tell us when you think it would be helpful. I'll send you the charter so you can, when it's kind of almost fully baked. But if we could come and help with that process to help you understand that, we'll be there.
So with that, Betsy, so that we don't drag you in here off cue, this week you're going to be having the continued conversations around, the recall, the referendum, and...
Just a recall, that we're going to be talking about recall and the financial processes and procedures.
Right. And once that's...
What's next?
Well, once that's done, say done loosely, is that when you think it'd be best for us to review the charter in its current state?
I think it'll be a good time. I think there are a couple other things that we need to talk about, but I think we're probably in early August, early to mid-August, when I think we'll get to some of this other stuff like term limits.
Yep.
Which we haven't talked about at all, but we need to.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get it, and the meat of it, like Lisa wanted the charter as it is now, so she could start reviewing it.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a lot of meat in it for you to review after this next meeting, so we could probably get you a copy of it after that.
Okay.
And then the full survey will be up after the meeting on the 28th,
Right.
Which I think you all might find also to be very instructive.
Yep.
And, so I'm not sure I answered your question, but
Would it behoove us to just to have the select board email added to the chain? So as you send things around the committee, we can just start seeing them?
I think that, not for the committee stuff, but I do think that when we, next time we start posting things on the website, I think we should just add you to that group. That's probably the best thing to do, and then you'll get that as a part of that.
That way, kind of like how Lisa's doing it, we can take the current charter, which I've already started to kind of look into, and then just kind of tack on things as they come. And then any additional questions we can suss out over the course of time.
Yeah.
And then kind of just quote unquote wrap it out in September when you guys are back in front of us. But I think engaging in the working model a little bit is probably going to be easier rather than finding a finite point in time to say, yeah, now look at it, right? Because like you said, there's a lot, and I don't want to, at the end of August start, so that way the middle of September, it only gives us a couple weeks to start reviewing it, right?
One of the things that we're looking to put we've been capturing what's changing. We've been doing this as we go along. We have a committee member who's responsible for capturing that stuff in a chart, so that we will have a list of, here are the things that are changing that are going to be in the charter, that are changed from current rules or whatever, and why are they changing? And then that's for the charter, and then we have the same for recommendations for the bylaws. That document probably also is something that's going to be a key communication piece, I think, because people are not necessarily going to want to read through, a 80-page document of a charter.
Yeah.
Even though it's easy to read, but
all of that documentation is so valuable.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that gets into the archive. So that way, it's all of it, not just the iterations of the charter, but everything that, it's Matt, right, is the one cataloging everything?
You had something? I think Patrick had it.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we'll be working with the committee on archiving all that information, but I will say that the Government Review Committee's website burlington.org/gov-review, I believe.
Yeah.
Is probably the most comprehensive board and committee website I've seen of almost any municipal committee, where you can see meeting summaries of each meeting, the presentations of the materials that were there, discussed at that meeting. It's very comprehensive, how to join the meetings, how to connect to the meetings, other resources, results from other publications from their stakeholder input, the latest draft of the charter. So,
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
for everybody at home that's looking to tag into that,
Right.
there's an enormous amount of information right there.
I meant more, Patrick, from like in 5 years, when we're looking back on this, I want to make sure it's all captured and cataloged. And I know, like, I mean, I'm going to assume that the webpage is still going to be there and
Yes.
active, but if for some reason it's not, right, we know that it's downstairs with Dan, right? So like, that's just like, I'm thinking from like a more longer term perspective.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Anything further? No. Thank you both for coming out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, approval for new general license, Pokeworks, 70 Burlington Mall Road.
So, Mr.,
I see. Yep. Just sit at the table and tell us your name.
My name is Abhishek Acharya. One of my partner, I mean the partners of the Pokeverse, they are online, so they will lead the conversation from here. So his name is Zhu and Leilin Kondel, they are on like virtual meetings. So.
and Mr. Zhu, we just sent an unmute request to you, so you should see it on your screen at, near the bottom to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
So we're getting a chat that the audio is very poor, so we're just, we tried to just remute and then unmute to see if it reset it.
Can you hear us okay?
Hello.
I don't know what he said, I couldn't hear.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Hello, can you hear us?
Oh, much better.
I don't know if he's saying yes or no.
How would you pronounce his last name? Zhu?
Yes, sir. Zhu.
Mr. Zhu, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Kai Zhu.
Can you speak up a little louder,
I'm
please?
the Sorry?
Speak a little louder, please. A little louder. Speak louder.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Kai Zhu. I'm the applicant of the license. Pokeworks is a national brand franchise. So nationwide, right now we have about like 70 to 80 locations. And Burlington is gonna be our 4th location in Massachusetts, and they're the same management group. So we provide like fast casual Hawaiian style food. It's mixed with some seafood and vegetables and our signature sauce, topping with some seaweed salad, fried onion as crunchy. So our proposed operation hour is gonna be from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. from Monday to Sunday. And thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay. Did you have anything to add? Or?
I'm just here to represent, so
Okay.
thank you.
I saw all the paperwork's online on OpenGov. Nick, any questions?
No, I know I slipped out, but I had no questions. I reviewed everything online. Everything seemed to be in order.
Yep. Joe, any?
No, it was the special permit was approved last summer, so there's nothing. Nope, I have nothing.
No, we really have nothing because everything's online. Is there. And
Thank you so
that
much.
being said, John, you have anything to add? Or no?
No, I don't.
all right.
I was going to say the same thing, that this project's been going on for a while. It was
Yeah.
approved last summer, so this is the final step in that. I don't know if you want to mention when you're planning on opening?
Pretty soon, within like 1 or 2 months. So
Okay.
thank
That being said, I'll be looking for a motion to approve a new general license for PokeWorks, 70 Burlington Mall Road.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 300. We don't have to vote individually because Sarah has left the meeting.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing for alteration of premises, Tavern in the Square, 100 District Ave. I see attorneys Boudreau and Mr. D'Souza are online. They are representing Tavern. Just said something about Mr. White was going to be here.
Oh, no, I think these are the two
Okay.
people, yeah.
Well, this is a public hearing. I'm going to call it open. I just need a motion to approve the advertisement as written.
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, 300 for the public meeting to be open. Public hearing. Okay, who's presenting? Mr. D'Souza?
This is Stephanie Boudreau.
Stephanie, you got- all right.
I'm with
All right, Stephanie, go ahead.
Our Law here. Sorry, I'm with Our Law here in Brookline. Good evening. I'm here with Stephen D'Souza.
We can't hear you.
the
Hold
CEO
on,
of
Stephanie, we
Restaurant
can't
Group.
hear you. Stephanie, hold on. We can hear you, we just can't hear you very well.
Okay. I will slow down and speak louder. Is that better?
Yes, just a little louder if you could. We're having some challenges in the room here.
Okay. We are here with Stephen D'Souza. We're here on behalf of the Tavern in the Square in Burlington, operating at 100 District Ave. We're here on an application to alter the licensed premises, to have the town and the ABCC approve some renovations that they've been doing. Specifically, the tavern shut down about a month ago to update the restaurant. The restaurant is largely the same. The renovations are largely aesthetic. The only real substantive change is they added about 6 feet to the existing bar, adding about 10 bar seats. The seating otherwise remains largely the same, and the restaurant plans to reopen hopefully by early to mid-August. So we're just here looking to have the board approve these changes and then have the ABCC bless that. We're here, Stephen and I are both here for any questions the board might have.
Thank you, Attorney Boudreau. Joe, did the alcohol subcommittee meet on this? No?
Oh, wait a
All
minute.
right. All right, well, this is just an alteration, it's not a new one. Again, you got Joe.
No, we didn't meet on this.
All right.
There was nothing being changed except for a small alteration. Alcohol's still the same. Really not much
Yeah.
changing. So it wasn't like we had to meet with them and talk to them about their, like we do everybody else. So
Yeah.
we didn't do anything.
Nick, anything?
I don't know, maybe. I've been on the board for a hot minute now, and I feel like, typically before a premises is altered, they come before us for permission. But if I understand it correctly, the premises are currently being altered, and you guys are before us asking for forgiveness? Like, why didn't this kind of happen? I feel like it's a cart before the horse. I just want to better understand what's going on.
Yeah, so I think there was just some misunderstanding. They worked with the building department, and I think because there were no real changes of any substantive nature, there was the idea that they did not need to do an alteration of premises license. As soon as they found out from the town that one was required, we got it filed right away. There was no, obviously they went through the town for the permitting. There was no attempt to be underhanded here. It was really just a misunderstanding of when an alteration of premises was required. Again, the only substantive change is to add a small portion to the bar. So it was really just I guess a misstep, if you will. And from now on, they'll obviously know. But as you know, they have several licenses throughout the state, and Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Rhode Island. And, they haven't come across this before. This is one of the older restaurants, so they were doing this renovation. And, they are here before the board now asking for approval.
Sure, okay. I'll be honest, I I'm trying to be better at practicing what I preach. And, I tend to find myself a very forgiving individual, because I think that it's important to extend, goodwill and trust to each other, and try to be understanding. However, I also think that it's important that as the adults in the room, we do our due diligence before we step foot into an exercise, especially when it involves other people or parties, so as not to put ourselves in a position where we have to be in a position like this. And while the ramifications of what you're saying are, in fact, next to nothing, right? I think that it's important that we hold ourselves accountable. I do this to my employees at work. I do this for my children. And it's really important, and you can clench your jaw all you want, sir, that it's really important that we hold each other accountable to our actions and the things that we do. I would expect nothing less of the people in my life or the businesses in this community. So while my board members can vote how they will, I'm going to vote no on this.
Okay. So I have no, the paperwork's all in order. It looks to me like it's okay. It's an alteration. This is a public hearing, so is there anybody in the room that wants to speak on this? Alex, go on up.
Hi, Alex, Pine Glen.
Yep.
I just wanted to ask, is it clear on the website that an alteration like this would require select board approval as well as building department?
Yes. I'm getting a yes.
It is. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Anybody online from the public wants to comment on this or ask a question? Seeing none, I'll be looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Moving second. All those in favor?
Before we vote,
Yes.
I have a question. If we vote no on this tonight, what happens? Where does it go from there? They've already done this. They've already, like Nick said, put the cart before the horse. They didn't meet with anybody. We vote no. Does that mean that they don't finish the job? They don't?
Correct. Without your signature, the occupancy doesn't get signed off.
Does that mean they have
don't
to?
open.
They can't open at all?
They put it back to the
I'm just,
glass.
those are the questions I have. So, I mean, I agree with Nick. I don't disagree. We make everybody else in town do it. They have been here a very long time. I'm not gonna vote against it. I don't like it, but I'm not gonna shut them down either. You know what I mean? I'm not, and you were right about the clenched jaw and the head shake. That's what bothered me more than a lot of the other things. We're here to do a job for the town of Burlington. Like I said, I'm not going to vote against it, but I don't want to see a restaurant shut down either.
I understand that.
So,
Guys, I could speak to this. I could speak to this. I'm the owner, CEO. I've been in business for 20 years, 21 years with Tavern in the Square. I've closed locations. This is my first major renovation of an existing location, and it was simply an oversight. We were at the building department, we were at the health department, we were at all the different departments, and nobody put it up in their hands and said, have you gone here? And it was literally just an oversight that we found out. We have 150 employees that are looking to get back to work in August. So it was a misstep. Had we done renovations before, maybe we would have noticed it. Even the ABCC, when they did their inspection, said, hey, yeah, we don't usually always ask for these when it's a cosmetic. Nothing's changed, nothing's moved, everything's in the right place. It's furniture, flooring, and light. So, I would hate to see all my employees take the fault of our misstep on applying on this end, because we did follow all the other steps we thought were in line. So just my comments on that.
Thank you, Mr. D'Souza. Nick?
Mr. D'Souza, I hear you loud and clear, and perhaps maybe you're just catching me on an off day, because normally I would say, hey, shouldn't we do this ahead of time, and then just move on, right? I don't know. Lately, I've been dealing with a lot of folks, and this is no shade to you guys, but who operate on an act of forgiveness model. And I'm not saying that this is that case, right? I'm just saying that I'm trying to be better at holding others and myself more accountable for doing our due diligence up front. And I encourage my board members to vote in favor of this, to keep the business open. You know, I just need to start somewhere, and I'm sorry to say that you guys are it. What is it? Two is not a majority. But two is a majority of who's here.
But it's not a majority of the board. So we could be...
Good gravy, man.
Could be in...
So he's saying if I vote no,
They shut
it
down.
fails regardless because two is not a majority of the board.
It may, I'm trying to find
May.
out. So I know other majority license for public hearings have to be a majority of the board as constituted, not
So minimum,
majority of the people.
minimum
here.
of 3 yeses.
So you're gonna make me eat my moral standing to make sure that we don't look like idiots?
No, I'm just texting Lisa to find out for sure.
Son of a gun. You may wind up with a reprieve after
All
all.
right, so the motion on the floor was to close the public hearing. That doesn't exclude us.
That only needs a majority of the people that are here.
Right.
You can still do
So,
that.
the motion was made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Closing public hearing.
Public hearing, yes.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so 300, public hearing is closed. We're waiting for a response from our attorney.
Well, I can tell you this, I would never put people out of business. I just can't do
Well,
that.
then,
Do I like the way it went down? No, I don't, but it's one of those things where I completely understand how you feel. I'm gonna vote in favor of it, but, you know, would you say 115 employees? Is that what
Mr.
you
D'Souza?
have, Mr. Souza?
Mr. Chairman, Lisa said
Sorry,
it's okay if the vote goes 2-1.
Okay.
We're 7.
All right, so for the record, our attorney said even if 2 are in favor and 1 is opposed, it still passes, it still gets approved. You do not need 3 to approve this. So the motion, the public hearing is closed. I need a motion to approve alteration of premises for Tavern in the Square, 100 District Ave.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain. 2-1-0 in favor. You're good.
You're all set. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You can breathe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
You
you're
can
all
breathe.
set. All 115 people can go back to work. You're good.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
What's that?
Okay, next item, municipal aggregation. Do we have an update?
We do, thank you.
Oh, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the board may remember that at our meeting in early June, you authorized the town administration to sign, to secure a rate if our consultant told us it was the most favorable time. That happened today at 2:30, I believe, where we had a call with the consultants who had seen a little bit of a dip in the rates for the outlook, so we did sign on today. What does this mean? You know, it's a good news, bad news thing, or not bad, but it's a good news, not so great news. It will be an increase in the rate that people currently have now that are in the program, because we had a very favorable rate, and the market is much different now than it was 24 months ago. So there will be an increase of about 18% in that supply rate. The rate will go from 13.29 cents to 15.646 cents. So that's about an 18% increase. The good news is, that's the bad news. The good news is that that will still be 10% lower than what the Eversource rate is that's going to affect on August 1st. So we'll continue to be doing better than you would if you weren't in the program. So this is, we had a long conversation about what's the best term. You know, do we just do it for 1 year and see where we are next year? Or do we do it for multiple years or even 3 years? And a lot of the conversation was that the reward doesn't outweigh the risk by just doing it 1 year. There might be a reward where the rate comes down and we're actually in a little bit higher than Eversource is at that time. Nobody really knows. None of us are, speculators for the oil energy market. but that the risk there, we may very well have a very favorable rate come next, a year from now. So, a long way of saying, there's a very detailed memo from Mr. Hockenberry from just this afternoon. It's in the shared drive if you want to read it. So what are the folks that are in the program going to do? They're not going to have to do anything. They'll get a postcard from us that will say, this is the new rate. You can still opt out if you'd like to. This is how you do that. Otherwise, your bill is just going to have a different name on it from the supplier, from Constellation to First Point. First Point does a ton of aggregation work in Massachusetts. It's not, someone that's new to the market, sort of lowballed the rate. It's somebody that is very entrenched in the market here in Mass. So hot off the presses that we were able to secure that rate today. So that's why it wasn't in the backup, because it was just happening today. So we listed it as an approval, so we could re-approve it, but you have already given the authority for us to do that. So it may be a housekeeping thing that we just authorize or approve it again today.
Joe, questions?
May I add one thing? The timing of this is, we're still with Constellation, and the rate is still the same until October. So they're going to continue at the lower rate all the way until October, and that's when our 24-month term would kick in.
Nick?
Sorry, JD, you may have said this. How long is this new term for?
24 months.
It is for 24 months, okay.
Is that I have a question. Is it still with Constellation, or this was First Point?
It's First Point, starting in October.
All right, so it won't be Constellation.
It won't.
Yeah. But look, I mean, this is the ebb and flow that we have to deal with. And it's like you said, it's coming no matter what. If you're with Eversource, it's going to go up. It's going to come down depending on, like you said, the markets and how they deem it necessary. We all got real upset a few years back when it went up to practically a quarter, which was just insane. Yes, it's an 18% hike, but that's a 2.5 cent increase that folks are going to see come, end of October, November. And, then it'll stay there for 2 years. That's a guarantee. And then hopefully in 2 years, we're in a position where things might come down. We have an opportunity to renegotiate. So this is why we reestablished this. This is why we do this. Because it's 2 cents, but it's less than what you'd be paying through Eversource. It's dollars in your pocket. And that's, the importance of this. So I hope folks understand that. I know Sam has done an amazing job of, kind of spearheading this from the town side. I appreciate all the work that he and the rest of the staff have put into this. And, hopefully in 2 years, it's less. Fingers crossed, God willing.
Yeah, and I think Sam is, and that whole group has done a great job getting the word out, because now people know what it is. When we talk about the municipal aggregation program, people say, oh yeah, I'm in that, I've saved a little bit of money.
Good? Okay, it's been approved. Do we have to reapprove it, or you've already approved it?
I would, just,
All right.
then we can.
All right, so therefore, I'll be looking for a motion to approve municipal aggregation as presented.
I make that motion.
Second.
Made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, 300. Okay, next item, year-end transfers. Patrick?
I can put it up on the board too, Pat.
All right, and in the backup on the board and in front of you, Mr. Chairman, are the requested end-of-year transfers. So annually, in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 33B, allows the Select Board with conference with the Finance Committee, or in our case, Ways and Means Committee, to make transfers in between accounts to resolve any deficits that are created. So this year, that amount is, the total is $29,499.51. This is not an increase of any appropriation. This is just a transfer between accounts that had deficits and accounts that had surpluses. And this is really a fraction of 1% of the overall budget for FY26. So a relatively small amount of the overall appropriation. And the requests relate to, the first one is the town meeting salaries, a deficit of $1,276. That's as a town meeting went longer than it usually went, a couple of our sessions, so we have funds available in the expense line. So we're requesting to transfer from expenses to the salaries an amount of $1,276.16. Within the assessor's office, a small deficit of $233.96, where we have the funds available in the expense side. Unemployment compensation, there's a deficit of $27,897.64. That relates to some activity in that unemployment account that we actually won an appeal related to that, so we are going to be recouping that amount over time. And we have an available balance within the general town insurance account to resolve that deficit. And finally, a small deficit of $91.75 in veteran salaries. Those two salary accounts were just related to step increase timing and the number of days in the pay cycles. So a total of $29,499.51 being requested to be transferred between accounts for fiscal year 2026.
Since Patrick didn't add it, I can add that it was 0.016% of what the operating budget was. So we almost nailed it.
Thank you for sharing that. Quick question. Just to clarify, Patrick, for anybody who's actually watching this or sees this, the surplus line is not representative of the totality of each of those lines and what monies they may hold. It's just what we're transferring from that line into the deficit line.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I just don't want someone to look at this and go, how it's awfully convenient, you got $1,276 and change that fits this.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure we're like.
Exactly. We are only requesting the amount that we need. There could be, you know, in all those cases.
More.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Joe?
Nope.
Yeah, I have nothing either. This is typical.
Yep, and thanks to Rachel and the budget team for their work on the end of the year here.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the end-of-year transfers as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300. Okay, update, 0 Polk Street. Patrick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just an update on this matter. As I said, the last time we were here that we would be before you on July 13th to approve the terms of a sale. We're not here to request your approval of the terms of a sale, but more of an update. And I want to just take a few seconds and back up a little bit to remind folks about 0 Polk Street. So about a year ago, we were urged by interested parties to petition town meeting to approve of the disposition of this particular parcel that was owned by the town. That was ultimately sought by town meeting, and we received town meeting's approval. The town moved the article forward. After that, we had to engage council on this process to ensure compliance with Mass General Law and the disposition of property. We also had to make sure that we're compliant with our bylaws, which have a very unique area of disposition of properties that requires a 60-day notice to town officials, a 30-day notice to the public, as well as some advertisements to satisfy the bylaws. So then that brought us to the day that the bids were due. We had one bidder present who then withdrew their bid, which left us with no proposals. So typically when that happens, that's indicative that that there is not an interested party. But the uniqueness of this case is that there is still, that party that withdrew their bid is still interested in the parcel. So we're at a little bit of a juncture where we will now have to go out to bid or decide whether or not we do go out to bid to basically rebid this in the same format as we have previously, which would then, you know, it is not likely that it would require triggering the 60-day notice period all over again, but it would be at least probably 30 days for any disposition, for any bid process. But, you know, we've had to engage council on that as well. So this is a little bit of a unique situation, but it's a situation that we're managing. And I think that at some point, the town will have to decide, what the next best logical steps are for us moving forward here. But just an update on this process from where we are today.
Any questions on that?
So they withdrew, but they're still interested?
That's correct.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a confusing output or of a bid process. I don't want to begin to speculate on what their thoughts were at that time, whether or not it was a competition-based decision or lack of competition-based decision. But I think that it is not insignificant to note the sort of steps and resources that the town has taken up to this point. So it is a bit of a unique situation, but I still think that it is likely that there will be a rebid of this. Whether or not the conditions will change, we're working through that.
Obviously, this has been the position of the town the entirety of this conversation, but while we determine next steps, is there any additional liability that we should be concerned about?
No, I mean, I wouldn't assume significant liability. I think that we continue to monitor the property. It is a very small property that used to be fit a campsite in the 60s or earlier. But we have monitored the site. We've had building officials at the site. If you were to drive by it, you wouldn't know that it's not our parcel. So, to that end, there's probably legitimate concern about making sure that it maintains our parcel for as long as it is our parcel, and that it is known that it is our parcel. And that has been articulated by building officials.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all from me, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, minutes. Everybody,
You want us to approve them individually or just A and B? The way they're written?
Lynn, what's the best way? No? We can approve them all as presented?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve all minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 300. Subcommittee reports, Nick?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe? Anything?
I talked a lot tonight.
I'm good.
Hey, just a quick update, the fire department on the way to this meeting, they were handling a house fire on Mountain Road, and as far as I know, everybody is safe. But again, it's hot out there. They're wearing the turnout gear, doing what they can do under these severe, not severe, the heat. So hopefully everybody's fine.
Jim, may I for a second? So I didn't want to say anything about the fire because I knew that you're the liaison to the fire department. I happened to be there, and I'll tell you right now that those guys were dripping wet with sweat, never mind what was coming off the house. The fire was very intense. I don't know how it started. I know a couple of firemen were actually looked at by EMTs. They all come out of that house just soaking wet with sweat in their clothes, and I just can't thank them enough for what they do. The house was totally gone. It's going to have to be torn down. The people that live there lost everything they have. One of the firemen came out with a box of little stuff with like 2 photo albums. I think it was 1 passport, and it was just devastating. Very, very devastating for the people that live there. So, I don't know who they are. I know they're across the street from my barber shop, but it was the firemen themselves and the people that are involved were just absolutely incredible team. And I believe every captain was there. Robbie Paul was there. Jack Walther was there. The chief was there. The firemen, it was incredible. Ruben came. Then we had another car fire, right? Do we have another?
And there was a car fire at the same
Right.
time, as well as
Same
police
time, so
activity at the same time.
They had to call in guys to come help out. So I want to give the firemen their kudos, and what a great job they did getting that.
Firefighters.
Same thing.
No, because we have.
In your world is firefighters, my world is firemen, whatever, I don't care. So I just want to give them their kudos for what they did, that's all.
Okay. The only thing I have is Wednesday, August 5th, 5 to 7 p.m., Public Safety Night at Wegmans. Speaking of police and fire, they will be out there, or we will be out there, as well as several other departments and agencies for our annual Public Safety Night. Always well attended, always a great time. It's in the garage at Wegmans, so it's rain or shine. And Wegmans has free food. They have vendors that are giving out samples. There'll be live music, face painting. It's a day to meet your first responders in a non-stressful, non-crisis situation. You get to see that behind the uniform, there's a human. Mr. Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of, and I'll be quick about it, just a couple of topics I just wanted to break up, and I wanted to have some pictures for you because I wouldn't do it justice describing it. On the town hall chiller and generator replacement, this board approved $5.4 million over a year ago. We're finally getting closer to that becoming a reality. And one of the final pieces was for the DPW to get the plan the final plan approved. So what you're looking at there on the left is the existing condition of our front, the front of the, or I guess we would call it the side of this building on Dearborn. That's where the chiller, that's where the generator is. So it's in that enclosed area. You can see that on the picture on the left. That's what it currently looks like. On the picture on the right, you'll see that that area is going to need to grow a little bit. And you'll see that that's going to make us change the walkway. So instead of coming out the door and either going right or left, you'll come out the door and you can either go left or straight out towards Dearborn. This was the most favorable option because we don't have to take out those very mature trees that are on the lawn right there. So that was the desired option by the DPW. And another benefit is that we won't lose any parking spaces with this. They'll still be remain. We may lose them temporary for a laydown area or for some sort of safety fencing as the project's going on, but we won't lose it at the end result. That's just a rendering of what the front of the building will look like after the project is done. You see what the walkway looks like, kind of going straight up, and it's a little bit bigger right there of the enclosure. The enclosure will, match as close to the building as it is. It's just a different building material, so it won't match perfect. Police station update, big milestone today. I won't read it to you, but the next big milestone happened today. The steel started getting delivered today, so you'll start to see the erector set over the next couple weeks, and it will start to take shape of a building rather than a big cement-looking building. Everybody asks, is that what the building's going to look like? That's very ugly. That isn't what the building's going to look like. That's just part of the CMU walls. I had some pictures that I was going to describe, but I'll just forward them to you. And then the last thing was to mention Celebrate Burlington, which will be happening before our next meeting. That's on Saturday, the 8th. You can see there this stuff going on in the Common all day up until 4 o'clock. Then there's a classic car show, a concert, and then ends with fireworks at 9 p.m. Anybody that's been down there knows thousands of people come down to celebrate Burlington. It's a great town event, and our rec department, as always, does an amazing job with it.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. You're looking for motion to adjourn?
You get somewhere to be?
You just look at each other. He has to stay. He's stuck. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300, adjourned.